Hey, Coach. It looks like with the two picks here, shooting was the priority here. Can you just speak to that a little bit, please? And was what happened in the playoffs and what you faced against the zone a factor in all of that?
Not really. I mean, I think you're always looking for shooting. You're always looking for guys that can put the ball in the basket. We were evaluating several guys across the draft with different strengths that brought different things to the table. When 14 came up, felt best about Aaron, and Aaron, before he broke his foot this year, had a great year early part of the season. The way that he can run off screens and shoot the ball, the worker that he is, the amount of time he puts in his game, his size, which gives him some positional versatility. And as he becomes more comfortable in how we defend, will hopefully allow him to guard a couple of positions. And so, those are all positives, but the shooting is his thing. And then Payton is obviously a knockdown shooter as well that can do a lot of things with the basketball. So shooting is certainly important. It certainly is a high priority, but I wouldn't say that, everybody that we were high on in this draft would be considered a great shooter. So we were more looking for what we thought were the best fits at the time. And we feel very, very good about the two picks in the first round and look forward to getting those guys here because they don't get the benefit of a summer league and some, nice preseason 2-on-2 workouts before the season usually kicks off to get themselves ready. It's going to be full steam ahead here soon.
Yeah, and speaking of that, do you think picking Nesmith at 14 helps in that regard? Do you think he's a guy that can kind of like step right in because of that skill, that shooting skill, and contribute while he's learning some of the other things?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're certainly hopeful that guys will be able to do that sooner rather than later. I don't think it's fair to put on any of these guys to expect them to be playing in a high-level NBA game on December 22nd, which is, 35 days from now. However, that will be what we all push for. That will be what we all work hard for over the next however many weeks to get ready when we're allowed to be in the gym. There's a lot of restrictions in place once we get back to doing what we can in the next couple of weeks. But after that, we'll try to expedite the curve as much as possible. But when you can put the ball in the basket, that certainly is a benefit. But as you know, John, we've got good older players and good younger players that are going to fight for those minutes, and we'll see how that all pans out.
Any other questions for Coach? John?
No, we've got double-barreled action with Aaron in the other room, so I'm going to hold it down in here if you don't mind. There does seem to be a bit of uncertainty here. You've already made one trade, and there are a ton of rumors here surrounding Gordon. What does that all mean for you guys? I mean, what's that situation?
I think you always, I can't talk on the specific, trade, the announced trade just now, and certainly wouldn't ever speculate on anybody that has an option that gets to make that decision. And certainly, we'll see with the player options and the team options, and then free agency after that. We'll see how the team fills itself out. But what we wanted to do tonight was, again, pick guys that we thought could come in and really compete, for time, but also compete to help us and add value to winning sooner rather than later. And I think we've got two guys that are gym rats, two guys that want to be really good, two guys that put the ball in the basket. And, we'll be excited to get here and work. Everything else, we'll see how it all plays itself out. I think that's the the beauty of the whole system is, if a player has an option, it's their option. It's their choice. They get to do what they want. Team has an option, same thing. Unrestricted free agents get to choose what they want. So we'll see how it all plays itself out.
Last couple of questions. Adam Himmelsbach.
Brett, have you had conversations at all with Gordon? Obviously, you guys have a really extensive relationship and everything, but this is an unusual situation, unusual week. Or do you just kind of let him be, and when the time comes, it comes?
I've always said I've talked to those guys all year long, and so those conversations aren't unique. And I say those guys even going back years, and then as they get closer to these deadlines and these big decisions and everything else, I say, if you need me, let me know. I mean, he knows us, he knows me, he knows this whole situation, and he weighs that against his other options. That's part of a player option. So that's not too dissimilar than anything we've been through in the past. And so we'll see again how it plays out. But those conversations are, you spend so much time together that I think it's appropriate from my point of view to make yourself available if need be.
Final question for Coach Tim Bontemps.
Brad, obviously the next few weeks are going to be pretty crazy. This shortened off season, then training camp, and then going right into preseason, right into the regular season. I know it's a unique situation for everybody, but how are you going to try to approach all of that in terms of trying to, create some kind of a timeline to make all this work? Yeah,
I mean, it's a big challenge, Tim, and obviously everybody's in a different boat. I mean, there's teams that haven't played in 9 months. There's teams that, like us, they got done less than 2 months ago. Obviously, the Lakers and Miami went longer than us, so they have even shorter break. So it is going to be a challenge. Some of the rules and regulations that are going to be in place to start getting back together from a mandatory basis at the start of December, and then when you can officially start 5-on-5 practice, all that stuff is going to make a pretty short period of time before you're actually playing meaningful games, and more meaningful when you consider the fact that there's 10 less. So, one of the things that's usually good is after the draft or after free agency, you have a couple of months to plot and plan how you want to play to maximize the strengths of that particular team. You don't get that benefit now. So it's, it was big staff meeting to kind of choose a couple of things that we think are really important, after tonight, the next couple of days, and then we'll probably meet all next week and cram in, what we typically would do in a month to get ready for a new team and a new season, starting in that, December 1st timeframe.
You mentioned that short turnaround. Danny was saying the other day that Kemba's working on his knee and, he's doing stuff now. Do you have any sense of whether he's going to be ready to go for the start of the season? And is there going to be sort of a similar plan to what you guys did in the bubble in terms of kind of easing him back in regardless, coming off of that knee injury and with the short time frame you guys are on?
Yeah, we'll talk about everybody as we get closer to that time. Kemba is doing well. He feels good. He's been lifting and working out. And so we'll talk about all that stuff as we get sooner. I don't want to speculate on that.
All right, we'll wrap it up right there. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And just a reminder for everybody else, we will be using a separate link for Danny Ainge's media availability at the conclusion of tonight's draft that was in the advisory towards the bottom.